So we have John Kaiser and Diane Funk, Carrie Fee, and Mike Fanning is in the building. How's that? And Clint Tinsley here. Erica with finance, and Carly, the administrative assistant, is here. Anybody for public comment? Nobody's here. Okay. Before we do the minutes, let's have the commissioner's report by Mr. Tinsley.
Okay. So the county and the city are going to work together on all the demo material that we expect to come into us. So the city transfer station will take demo material. If they get too full or at capacity, we will probably take our truck to Logan to relieve some of the pressure off the city. So we might be starting hauling to Logan as soon as Monday, depending on the volume, the trailers the city has, that type of thing. City is still working on, maybe the truck's not going to Great Falls, maybe they go to Logan too, to give them more capacity as things come in. But the city will take demo material. The county's going to put a site at Point of Rocks on this side of the bridge that's shut down for those people to take demo material to. Chico, Gardner, one more spot. Point of Rocks, Chico, Gardner. I don't think so.
Not Cook City.
Deep Creek.
Cook City, yeah. So we'll have extra boxes for demo material there. And so we expect garbage to lighten up quite a bit because there's no tourism, no traffic. And so we don't know what that's going to offset us as far as our hauling, but we will haul to Livingston till July 1st. But if Livingston gets full, we'll haul to Logan and we'll help the city use our trailers to load the city up to haul to Logan too. So that's kind of where we're all at. Park's closed for the year. North entrance, northeast entrance, closed, not gonna open. The bridge at Highway 89 South is being looked at right now. Is moving, so that's kind of my concern. Structurally, they don't know.
The railroad bridge or the highway?
South 89.
You're talking Point of Rocks
Yeah.
Bridge?
Yeah,
Okay.
so they're looking at that. Traffic is going in and out of Gardner through the East River Road. They fixed those bad spots there, so traffic is coming in and out. Emergency services only, local traffic, and a garbage truck.
So the bad spots in Yankee Jim Canyon, we're talking,
Very bad spots.
Right.
Yeah.
the slides.
Speed limit is like 35 miles an hour from Pico turnoff. It'll take a long time. North 89 bridge closed definitely for 2 weeks. We asked if we could run an ambulance over it because it would save 20 minutes response time. They said no. They said it's very severely damaged, and the railroad bridge is very severely damaged. In fact, there's bows in the tracks going across the railroad bridge. The railroad bridge goes out, their concern is it's going to take 89 north out. Also a spot where that river turns to a corner by Needs, there's washing out, and you're seeing cracks in the pavement where that could
Washing out
blow.
towards the road. Where it
Yeah.
takes up 90.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can see the whole side is sloughed off right by the interstate all the way to the railroad bridge, and you can actually see the railroad bridge pillars now.
Water's going down till tomorrow. We have 90 degrees here.
Yeah.
There's still 218% snowpack above the usual time of year.
Have you heard what they're calling for, what they're projecting?
They're projecting the water to go up Monday or Tuesday in a 9-foot.
Okay.
So it's still in the flood stage.
Yeah.
But after Tuesday, they said, we cannot tell you if it stays hot like it's forecasted. Monday is 94% chance of rain.
Yeah.
And 75 degrees. If that hits and that works out fine, they said, we can't tell you. It could be bad. They don't think anything will be as bad as what we just had. It still could be bad.
I don't know how much rain
Right.
you get.
Right.
Yeah. so saturated out there.
Warm nights, warm days, a lot of rain is not a good thing.
Thinking there were concerns sort of on Saturday. That things could come in Saturday.
Yeah, they're saying around 10 feet.
Yeah, on half 10 feet
Yeah.
Saturday. And then it could go up again into next week.
Depends on Monday's rate. So I guess that's the biggest thing is we are working with the city. We have sites for the garbage to go to. And do our best, and we'll do our best to keep the city floating capacity. And if we have to haul for them, we will.
Good.
We'll work out most of this stuff I think is covered under FEMA, so we'll just keep track of time. City will keep track of their time, and we'll work it out when it's all said and done.
Do you, as commissioner, do you need anything from our board?
I don't think so. There's quite a few people, a lot of resources coming. The cat team, I'm not sure what that is coming. Huh?
They're here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's another group of people coming right when I left the SAR building. There's another group that's coming to help clean up houses. Tearing off sheetrock, taking the floor off if they have to, getting a set for rebuild. And basically let it dry first and go from there.
That's a
So
lot.
they should be here Sunday, Monday. They're trying to assess how many people they need. They basically said we can send 25, 50, or 100,000. Just, you gotta tell us how many houses need help. So we're trying to assess that right now.
It's a night that will be helpful.
Yeah.
to The homeowner.
So Warren is totally on track for self-haul starting July 1st. I mean, this is right around the corner.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need anything from our board to help him. He's all set. He's been all set, hasn't he?
He's been all set, all the stuff, all the equipment's here, the new truck's here, everything's here. So I think he's ready to go.
Okay, good.
The extra pickups might be an issue of demo material, because that's gonna be 2 hauls, garbage and demo material. So that might take a little bit of time. There might be some overtime involved. But we really feel the amount of garbage itself is gonna go so far down. I heard Gardner had 1,500 cancellations yesterday.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Can I ask-
On the river is,
Can I ask you kind of an off the subject question? Not really, but so I guess my Fleshman Creek project almost came into play, huh?
yes,
Yes, and so what's with the levee? I mean, I don't like the levee. I've never really been a real fan of what's down at Saskatchewan. There was an alert came out that there was a hole in it or it was leaking.
it was running over the top,
Oh, over the top.
but it wasn't leaking.
Okay, it wasn't leaking.
It held, but it was running over the top.
How do you feel about it?
Well, I'm kind of the one that did it, so kind of the one that did it.
Good. Besides, it's a berm. It said to keep the river in its banks.
Yeah.
I'm all,
The
I'm
thing
all
is,
for it.
when we did that, that was for a maximum of 11 feet
Okay,
that we've never seen in the history of our county.
okay.
So Monday, that was 12 feet.
Right.
So I was really concerned about it, but it worked, it held.
Did Fleshman Creek start taking some of the overflow or?
Yeah, Western Creek was full.
Okay, then.
And we shut the Livingston ditch off. I called Todd Quizzle and Dave Haugen, helped them shut the Livingston ditch off Monday morning when we were told it's coming. The Livingston ditch was completely full, just from flood waters.
Well, if you see Marty, will you thank him for that? Fleshman Creek,
I sure will.
okay.
One other quick question.
Sure.
The bridge that went in the river, the big metal one?
Yeah.
Do you know where it ended up?
It floated down the river, it went with the river all the way to within about a mile of the South 89 bridge, the highway bridge, and then it disappeared.
South,
Nobody's seen it.
South 89 bridge.
Yeah, so from there it floated all the way down the river to
How many miles?
Point of Rocks Highway Bridge.
How many miles is that? Somebody posted like 35 on Facebook. That's
No, it's
You
not
mean the
35.
Point of Rocks Bridge?
No.
Within about a mile of the Point of Rocks Bridge is where,
So it went whatever, 4 or 5 miles or so.
yeah.
But it's
But you
not
don't know
been
where it
located.
is.
No, it's gonna be in pieces.
Remember that guy that drove that car off by Ninth Street Island? Was it 8 years ago or whatever? And we actually, when I was with TU, we actually had scuba team go out there and look for that car. It was like not to be found. It was amazing what the river can do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like disappear. What car?
Now, did you watch the video of Carbell?
Yeah,
I mean, it was there, then it was gone.
Yep,
Wow.
yeah, it is wild.
Now, that wasn't the new bridge.
Huh?
No, that was the old steel bridge.
It's the old Trussell Bridge, so they did repairs on it from when that guy hit it. But that thing was. Could you, for the record, give us an update on Cook City?
Cook City is a tough one. Park's closed, so Cook City can't come this way. So the only way I can see out for Cook City decently is to go to Cody. I mean, they go to Cody and get their groceries and whatever, but this winter, Cody Highway's never been plowed. This winter, I don't know what they're gonna do. I did mention it to the governor of Montana, said maybe Montana and Wyoming can work out a deal. Help each other out, because I can't see Cook City just having no way in or out, even for emergency services. I mean,
Yeah. And Wyoming talked about plowing that and keeping that open through the winter a couple of years ago.
they did.
So hopefully Montana and Wyoming can come together on that.
Yeah, the governor knows about it. Sure, but that's, yeah. And those, we're replacing those three bridges in Washout, we're replacing it this year. We have a contractor lined up starting mid-July. I'm not
So
sure.
those 3 bridges were gonna be replaced?
They're on 1, 2, and 3 on the parking
Hopefully it
schedule.
was coming out of Cody.
So in terms of Cook City and emergency services, who's handling that just within Cook City?
Pretty much, they have a fire chief and rural fire chief and the sheriff's department's been there.
Okay.
We've helicoptered a few people out with medical issues already.
So the garbage deal with Cook City, who's working that out? Matt?
Yeah.
Matt, okay. Matt's making his money.
Yeah, I have not physically seen that since Monday morning.
He dropped off his timesheet real quick yesterday morning and then scooted to Gardner.
Yeah, I haven't seen him since the next couple, so it's been a couple of days. Corey was in this morning
Yeah.
at the search and rescue building.
Oh.
Right.
All he's doing is license things.
For road, because we're also doing sheriff's office through Monday to get through this piece. Do you think that's a consideration for refuse, or are they too scattered?
I don't know. I mean, I don't see refuse working Saturday and Sunday. Unless you get hit with the material, but I don't see them working through the weekend.
Okay, I just wanted to check.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure that the road is, road and sheriff's office are being fed so that they can be working. Is the road gonna be working over the weekend?
Yes.
They'll be fed.
So probably the biggest thing, all that traffic has to come in on the old bike park road. And we're not just talking cars, now we're talking semis and everything else, so that's gonna be a disaster.
It
We
already
put dust
is.
oil on it today because it was so dusty. And we'll continue to do that and we'll continue to try to blade it, but it's not gonna hold up semis. It's not built for that.
Yeah, it's
So,
pretty
Plus
tore up.
concrete trucks going north.
yeah, concrete
Only
truck
way.
there, yeah. So we'll try and keep up with it, but it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a bad road.
Do you think that's something that the state could help with in terms of, because we have an emergency, we're getting all this extra traffic, or is that not an option?
Well, we talked to DOT, but you gotta understand, they have bridges out you know, North 89, South 89. Carter's Bridge, I think, was been closed. They were inspecting that. The only two bridges actually were Pine Creek and Mill Creek that had no damage to them at all. So they're kind of underwater already. In fact, we were helping plow the mud off 89 up in the canyon because they couldn't get there. You know, they had Red Lodge, Broadwater County. I mean, they were hit by all over. So, yeah.
Back to Cook City, so right now, he's gonna take stuff to Billings via Sunlight Basin.
This I can tell you. If the road opens to Red Lodge,
Where's he go that
they
way?
would go that way, but
Okay, so once snow flies, unless we have something worked out, and Beartooth is closed, and Sunlight would be closed. We need to have something worked out with the state of Wyoming to keep that open.
Right.
Or we don't have any way to get, well, that's gotta happen for emergency services first, which automatically will make that open for us for
right.
our waste.
There again, I don't see much garbage being produced in Cook City. It's gonna go to Cook City, not go in the park.
And it's just gonna be all the people that live there.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think they
So-
can keep it there for the whole winter.
no, they can't, but it won't be every other week like it
Right.
was. It'll be probably once a month.
Yeah, they won't have all the
Yeah.
sledding tourists.
Did you see on national news, they posted that Cook City's open for business?
I'm sure they did. And they are, because they got nowhere to go. If you make it to town, well, sell you something. Yeah.
Anything else, Clint?
No, I think that's it. It's, it was an emergency this week, and that's fine. Next week will be changed, and the week after that, it's gonna be people get mad. And they're gonna be mad at everybody, probably you guys too, but, you know, I think the federal law in FEMA is if your house is more than 50% destroyed, you can't rebuild it. It's not like that. And there are some houses out there that are hurt pretty bad. So I would say you'll get yelled at week after next. It won't be a disaster anymore. It'll be a political thing. In my experience, anyway.
Yeah, well, keep at it. Good luck.
Yeah,
Good work.
yeah, we have pretty good staff for that stuff, for sure.
Let's move into the abatement request.
See you all later.
We
Thank you,
have-
Clint.
We have finance.
Hey, Clint.
Thanks, Clint.
So
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
those abatement requests didn't come through my department. I don't know if they came in from that. I've never seen them, like we weren't, so I don't have any background for you.
Okay, can we deal with these at the next board meeting then? Because we kind of need some info on these before we, Okay.
I can kind of probably explain this one for Barrett's. Tammy Barrett, it's out in Clyde Park.
Barron's West LLC.
Yeah, so it's a
Wait a
little,
minute. Do you have another copy of that stuff?
so this is a little real estate office right next to Glenn's. And it's basically her home office. I rarely even see her there. She is,
What, so what's,
so
What does she
she's
want?
wanting an adjustment from commercial refuge fee.
right now she's being assessed
for
one
commercial.
business,
Yeah,
for 3 assessments, and what's she asking for?
I
Down to 1 residence?
think so, yeah. It's
That's-
got running water, it's got a toilet in it, but she's rarely there. She don't even use maybe 100 gallons
Yeah,
in
but
water.
It's a business?
It is. And she's claiming it as a home office.
we really can't make judgment on these things.
Without all the
Judge-
information.
Well, judged on how often a person is there.
Exactly.
I mean, our typical policy is, if it's a business, it's up to 3 assessments. It's how it is if it's a residence. If we were to go around to each one,
Yep.
you can't go.
I just knew something about that one, so I thought I'd let you guys know about that one.
Well, no, we appreciate that. That's what we need.
Yeah, it's a real estate office, and so she uses it. It's just a small building right next to Glenn's, and she uses it as a home office, is what she's claiming. And that's what that's about, but it is a business.
But it is a business.
Yep, it's a real estate business office.
Yeah,
Still a business.
yeah, it's business as far as I'm concerned.
My feeling is let's just stick to what
Yeah.
we have written down.
Yeah, be a business and be assessed 3.
Yeah, because they could do it right downtown Livingston too. They could just say it's a home business and then
Yeah.
we'd,
Well,
Are we gonna-
otherwise we're gonna be looking at every little one like that.
if you're on the business district, it's business.
Yeah, and then the one for Wilsall is pretty much the same as
Which
this.
one is that, Diane? What's the address on here? All we have is the addresses.
So we've got a PO box,
It must be-
Elliott, 309 Elliott Street
Okay.
North in
And
Wilsaw.
what's that?
She's claiming it's a single part-time business that generates, and she's putting it as part-time business. It's still a business.
It's business, the same thing.
So the one from Wilsaw and Clyde Park, those both.
They're both in that that little strip of commercial buildings.
I do believe this one is, yeah. I can't tell the
Where's
signature
Barron's?
on this one, but I know that the real estate one is in the commercial business strip in Clyde Park.
Well, do you want to go ahead and make a judgment on those two?
Yeah, I think we need to make it, yeah, we should. I need the proper. If somebody started.
So we're dealing with the Elliott Street and we're dealing with 502 Miles Avenue.
Yeah, so what we have is Barron's West. And we have the SB properties. Will sell.
Give the addresses on.
Right there, there's not, oh, yeah, there it is, 502 Miles and 309 Elliott.
Okay.
All,
Go ahead.
anybody have any other feelings on this? Diane, you heard our 3 feelings. Do you have a feeling on before we go? Or
I
anything
feel
you
it's,
wanna
they're a
input?
business. That's how I feel about it. And I don't think, like you said, I don't think we should go through every single one and adjust them. If it's a business, it's a business.
Yeah, if it's a home business and it's in your home.
It's not in
Yeah.
the
it's
business
not in-
code.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion, John Kaiser, make a motion that we deny any adjustment on this abatement request for the Barron's West property at 502 Miles Ave in Clyde Park.
In favor?
Someone second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor?
I,
All those opposed? None.
Okay, we have the SB properties, which is in Wilsall, 309 Elliott Street North. I'll make a motion that we deny the abatement request for the SV properties in Wilsall at 309 Elliott Street.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made by John Kaiser, seconded by Carrie Fee to deny the abatement for SV properties at 309 Elliott Street in Wilsall.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Unanimous.
All those opposed? None. And the last one, we don't have, do we have the info on it?
this one would be Sleeping Giant Investments.
There you go. Oh, would you give me yours?
Yeah,
That's the one next to Glenn's, the shopping center.
yes.
Okay, so she did call me a while ago and she was asking about getting an abatement and I suggested that she submit the abatement paperwork. But that was sort of what, I think what I heard you say is she's like, well, I'm not in there, but it is a business.
She is in there. It's just not frequent and it is a
Right,
business.
but
Yeah.
we don't really we don't base assessments on level of use. We base it on the fee schedule.
Right.
And it's a business, it's in a business district, so, but it's, you know. So all I do is if somebody disputes, I say, submit an abatement request and the board gets to review it.
Absolutely.
So is this for Brenda Beers?
Yes.
Are those two different
No, is that-
locations?
I think that better. Is this the one in Clyde Park or is that in Livingston?
No, this is Sleeping Giant.
This is
Sleeping Giant
now is
Investments.
Sleeping Giant. If you're talking about Tammy, that's Clyde Park.
This is in Livingston.
Living.
Yeah.
Okay.
This,
Sorry, different discussion.
Okay.
So I did talk to Brenda Beers too, though, last year, and she was asking about that, and I think she has wanted people to come out and change the assessments, but I don't think we changed the assessments from the prior year. I don't think we had additional.
okay, so Harry, myself,
Dick Junkin.
Dick Junkie went out and met with Brenda last October-ish and reviewed her situation. She, and we looked at what she had and what is she, so we're quite familiar with it. And I think that our recommendation to her at the time was to probably leave it alone because if we review it, she's probably going to go up one assessment. And I don't quite see what she's asking for here. Week 21, the one office should be attached to Livingston Self-Storage.
I think it's part of the other business.
So the self-storage and her, it must be her office or what?
That should be.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah, that should be.
But are they two separate locations?
That is her office.
Well,
for
just across the
storage.
gravel.
Yeah. But it's-
That's what I was wondering.
So she is being, and she's being assessed for we need more information on this. I hate to say it, but she's being assessed for the business, her storage business, according to the number of units, plus we're assessing her for this office. One business, I think I think this is already down to one residence. But this should come off on Suite 21, but we need more information before we can go with that.
That's kind of the
I'm
way
sorry,
I'm
I
reading
didn't
it
have
too.
that, I didn't realize that we had an abatement on there and with the emergency.
Yeah,
We'll delay it to next month and I can try to get more detailed information on
Yeah.
the assessment.
What she's wanting to do
well,
is not
what-
She's
clear.
trying to reduce our assessment.
Yeah.
so what she has there, she's got her storage facility.
Right.
And she's gonna be paying on however many units. Remember how we were
Yeah.
1 to 100 so much? So
Right.
she's gonna be paying for that. Then she's got a row of offices and a couple businesses. The first office is her storage
Yeah,
facility.
part of the storage
So
facility.
she should not be paying one on that. That's all. That's part of the
Right,
storage.
that's one
Based-
business.
That's out of there. We need to look at her whole thing as far as that Suite 21, if that's what it is, but I mean, we
Right.
need more on that.
But if
Someone
there's,
needs to
if there's
confirm.
5 or 6 more there, then
Yeah, well, she's got a bunch of businesses.
And they're all being rented or leased out to different businesses. I mean, they're not part of the storage business or they're individual businesses.
But I don't, she's not really asking about those.
Right.
Right here, she's asking for that Suite 21, which I believe is her office for the storage.
right.
We need
That's what I'm
that.
assuming off of this.
We need that confirmed before we do anything.
Right, okay.
Can I clarify on the fee structure just permanent identification, that with the storage units, like we do, the range, if you have so many units, you get so many assessments. Do you consider that the business itself would get 3 assessments on top of that or not? It's just the number
That
of
is
storage
the-
units.
That is the business.
It's just,
She's running it right out of that office.
yes.
That's an attachment. Her storage units are an
I'm
attachment
talking
of
about
that
it in
business.
general, for all the storage unit businesses,
Correct.
do they get 3 plus the number of their units, or it's just based on the units?
No, it's based on the units.
That's what I think we're looking at. I
We're
think
just-
that's what we did. I just wanted to confirm it since we're having this discussion.
We're just dealing with that particular office and that
Yes.
row of businesses that are there, so
Yes.
that's just her office. So we're just gonna go ahead and attach that to the storage units,
Yeah, but
basically.
we just need more. Someone needs to look at that and see exactly what she's asking. That's not, from us meeting out there, I'm pretty sure that's what she's talking about. But
So who's gonna do that?
I can do a drive-by if you want.
probably
Okay, you
Errol.
understand what the situation is, that there's a whole bunch of little businesses.
Yeah, they're already getting assessed.
Okay,
Yes.
And so she's just, it's just that 21 is claiming as part of the storage business, so it should be assessed just as part of the storage unit,
So
like part of the number of storage units.
Right.
I've been through this conversation with Brenda. If you want, I could give her a call and get more clarification for that for next month. Unless you want to chase that down.
You're welcome to.
Huh?
You're welcome
All right,
to.
I'll take that.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll do that with her.
okay, thank you. Okay, so we're just gonna put that one on hold. Okay. Anything else on refuge assessment request?
89 South.
5237, correct. Highway 80, US Highway, Sleeping Giant Investments.
Okay. So we've kind of got things shuffled around, so, the minutes, what do we have here? We have February 17th and March 17th. Does everybody have those in front of them? Those two? February and March.
What are you gonna start on, Carrie?
Let's start on February. Let's get through these, so. Anybody have any comments about the February minutes?
Nothing besides the correction on roll call.
Take the E off of.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes of February 17th, John Kaiser.
I'll second. All those in favor?
All right.
All those against? Pass unanimous. Carly? So Carly, would you, before we get into the next month, would you tell the board what you told me about the minutes?
Yes, so I was saying to Carrie, the commission normally has, now that we've gotten confirmation that the recording can be the official minutes, the commissioners are having me do much more general minutes. It's kind of more of, there was a discussion between these people, this was the motion, this was the decision. If there's like maybe a number or an amount that you would want listed on there, I can do that, but they're basically time stamped. So if people want the details of it, they can go back and listen to that, but the minutes themselves are very general. So that's how the commission has had me start to do theirs. And so I had just said to Carrie, it's completely up to you guys as a board. We can continue to do the detailed, or we can go to the more general minutes, whichever you would prefer.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any comments about that?
I think where it's recorded, we can just do the general, can't we?
Yeah, I think we could just try with the
Yeah,
general.
it'd be nice. It's just what was recorded.
Yes, it's reported, yeah.
Okay,
Sounds good. So for the, from any meetings from now on, they'll be very general.
Okay,
okay.
yeah, we're fine with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and review the minutes of March 17th as a board, and then all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have any comments, questions?
Just threw out the E on the end of the name. It's on this one too. You got it right up top, but didn't go through.
So good. I think that was just a brain like,
No,
this is how
it's fine.
you should spell it.
You know, roll call, I must have been listening on the phone.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do
I
you want
was-
me to specify you were on the phone?
You probably ought to put it in. So they have me listed in here.
So other than those changes, does anybody else have any comment? No?
John Kaiser, make a motion, we accept the March 17th, 2022 minutes with changes.
Diane Funk. I second that
With an E?
with an out.
Without the E.
Without the E, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Unanimous.
Okay.
Uh,
There you go.
Carrie just like the funky.
Yeah. I like the funky.
Well, it's kind of bad because it's actually Diane Funk.
Okay. Okay,
him turning red.
okay, this is not, let's go into old business. Anything, anybody have any old business that they bring up? There's nothing on
Yeah,
here.
most of that would be with Matt.
Yeah.
So I just have one thing to bring up. I do know our electric fence is working out at Clyde Park. We had somebody test it out on a Sunday, illegally dumping.
Determined.
Apparently it's not set on squirrel, it's on bear.
Good, good. Should be.
And unfortunately, it was one of the Joneses.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had to have grabbed the fence when he bent over to pick up the bag he dropped. And when he stood up, he connected
Ooh.
across the top of the head. He said it jarred his teeth, knocked his knees, and he didn't know if he was hit with lightning or shot. But he was pretty apt about he would not be dumping
That's right.
illegally on Sundays. On
And pass it on to everybody else.
he did.
That's what
He did very
That's what
well.
he said. Good.
So our bear fence works.
So in regards to the last minutes, I think that I will, and I did this as prior to this meeting in my email to Matt, I asked him if he had anything to report to us that he could do it at the start of the meeting. But I understand Matt is busy, and so that way, because at that meeting, we were kind of waiting for Matt and then he had to leave, so we'll bring him in and to start the meetings and get his report done. Also, I guess we could do that with a commissioner too. I mean, we'll
I think that's probably
switch that
wise.
around a little bit. Everybody okay with that?
Mhm.
The agenda? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and then on those collection site things, I think the one over by us, they've been closing it around 2:00. And I think in retaliation, there's a lot of people just throwing stuff in there. And it's turning into a real mess. Yeah.
So what do you mean they're closing, locking those gates up at 2 in the
Yeah, about
afternoon?
2 in the afternoon, yeah.
What's the hours on that sign say?
I don't remember.
I think it's longer than 2. It has actual days with hours posted on
I'm
it.
sure somebody's gotta be walking it up on their way home or something. But,
And we should, we'll have to mention that.
and you know, it's still highly abused, you know, as far as furniture and, you know, construction material and everything.
Mike, if you're running by there, can you look at the hour
Yeah,
sign?
I'll try to remember to look when I'm in
Okay.
there.
And,
I'll probably have to make a run here this
Okay.
weekend.
and if they are closing it early, they shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, it's-
They would open according to what the
it
hours. say.
doesn't bother me either way, cause, you know,
I'm worried about you.
yeah, I can carry stuff in there and throw
Well,
it.
besides, they have the walk-in gate there.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm saying, even with the
People are just-
walk-in gate, they're just taking stuff in and setting stuff everywhere.
Are they walking it in and throwing it? Putting
Yeah,
it on the ground or are they
they're-
throwing it over the fence?
If the 3 boxes are full right there, they just throw it next to it. They don't walk over to the
Walk
next
over
empty
to the
one.
other 8 boxes.
And I'll usually go further out when I go in anyways, just because those get filled so fast. But, like I say, construction debris, appliances, stuff like that, they're still getting just dumped right outside of them, the boxes themselves.
I saw some furniture, mattresses.
For cameras. And the
I
gates.
did
Has there been
contact,
any more discussion on the possibility of putting in a building with a compactor out there at the county building area? It would have to be enclosed because of the way the wind blows there.
Well, right now, the commissioners, all right, so Matt was gonna go and start that site, if you remember a few months back.
Right. Yeah, I just wondered whatever
Ray
happened to that.
Sunderland called in and said, if you put a site in there, I'm gonna bring up that lawsuit. I was with him. Okay, so commissioners just aced that as a site.
Okay, yeah, because it would take a building.
Yeah.
It would be the only smart thing to do. And then it would also be a good hub for getting right on the interstate and heading to Logan with the stuff that's already, in containers and sitting there covered. You wouldn't have the problem. It would be just moving Need's site to there and the other ones to that point.
Yeah.
But it would be handy. You got to have your kind of like there again, Cook City, a manned, building and everything, and somebody telling people where to put stuff. Sure makes a lot more sense than just this free for all we're doing.
Yeah.
And I just talked to a guy, he spent a week out in South Carolina, and he said, "You think we got problems?" He says, "When you go to haul your garbage there," he says, "yeah, you go 30, 40 miles. And then you go in and that's that, it's all a separation thing and you pay, household was free, 55-gallon drum, pickup load, whatever, tires were so much, everything after that got feed. And that would pay for the person that's working there."
Yeah, I think Matt was, once the commissioners didn't want to use that site out there, I think Matt was gonna look around something else in the area that county owned.
Well, I don't think there would be any problem because I talked to Ray. As if it was inside of a building enclosed and nothing's blowing, it don't bother him at all. It's the
open
It's
site.
the open site, the blowables and, if you run it just like you do the green boxes and everything, it's gonna be a mess out there.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to Needs too. I've seen the wind just suck, trash out of there after the birds ripped it open.
We already have a compactor in town. So I think putting another compactor in that close, I don't know. Inside a building, we already have a building with a compactor. It's a little bit further than where they are, Needs and
And we have,
Mission Creek.
we went down that road last year and we have pretty good numbers and so forth on what that takes for us to put that in place
Right,
now.
yeah.
And so we can go back on those, but, I know that some of the commissioners are not for compactor sites. And so, yeah, as far as getting them,
Well, even if it was a building and they were doing the same thing, if they were putting it in a big box and then, compacting it into that, like a roll off.
So,
But as long as it was indoors, I don't think there would be an issue with it.
well, if we could find another spot that we didn't have to put a building up.
Right.
Needs, we can't put a gate in, I think is the big thing. Needs,
There's a gate and a walk-in gate.
I mean, I think.
Oh, you mean
with
that?
an electric gate.
Oh, yeah.
I think there was something, I think Matt had mentioned. Plus, it'd be nice to do it on county-owned property.
Yeah.
But that's something to bring up.
It would be an inconvenience, I'm not gonna, say that it wouldn't be for me to have to go down to the interchange down there, but when you look at it from a common sense approach, it makes more sense.
Yeah,
And it's more controllable if there's somebody there. And if they don't have the Park County stuff, sorry, you can't dump here.
yeah,
Send them back to town.
Matt talked about a gravel pit across the road somewhere.
Uh,
You know of anything there? An old gravel pit?
yeah, I think Hillman's on that.
Oh, that's
Maybe.
up on the road. Yeah, Hillman's owned that. I think this was county.
Oh,
I know
Oh, I-
Hillman's. Yeah, I know Hillman's has that. They put in that house and trailer.
and there was a state section or a state piece just across the highway from Needs. I think there's still an old place where you back a semi up and roll something off the trailer.
Mike, the board has discussed compactor sites, and I think as a board, we see a lot of benefits to a compactor site. There's numerous advantages to it. Man,
I still am so impressed with the Cook City setup that, and I've been California, Virginia, Maryland, and all over, and I haven't seen anything that is cleaner and neater, and
Yeah.
it just leaves you, a good impression on you when you go in there.
well, I agree, but we as commissioners. Okay,
Yeah, that's.
Yep.
so it's not on the agenda, new business, but I on my original agenda, I had discussion by the board about the Bennett Street recycle site. And so this last week, John Kaiser and Dave Leverett and Warren. It's not the one that's one you printed out. And myself, we all met out there at the Bennett Street recycle site. Had been mentioning this to both Matt and Clint for a while about, that there might be a problem there arising, especially when we go to self-haul, because we're basically working that site along with the city. And so we took a pretty good look at it, and I think that we had all the powers to be out there, except for a commissioner, to review that site. I think one of the things that definitely came out of my discussion with everybody there was I asked Dave, how much, on a very rough estimate, does he estimate that the city of Livingston uses, how many people use that site? And he said about 75% of the people in Livingston proper use that particular recycle site. So my feeling is it's a pretty important recycle site for a lot of people in this area. I know that all the wine glass uses it. And John's wife uses it, Clint's wife, blah, blah, blah. So, what we have found out is that the county pays the city
Fee.
a fee, and we don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's pretty minimal right now. If the county pays the fee, chips into that for the county residents to use it. And it possibly could be going away.
Or
Yes, or an increase.
Warren, John and I had both thought that maybe Warren could move that particular site over to M Street. And Warren is totally against it. And he actually showed up with a pretty clever Google Maps picture of his site that he can use along with the Bennett Street site, Google Maps, and he put it there on his M Street availability site. You have it there? There it is there. And he showed us that he really doesn't have much room. Now, his big concern is once they start dumping garbage for self-haul at M Street, there's gonna be trucks moving around and people moving around and blah, 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 that he felt that along with the people that are using the recycle site would be kind of a accident waiting to happen.
Safety issue.
Yeah, big safety issue.
Yeah, I could see that.
Wasn't that another reason why we chose not to go with the old lumber yard? The safety?
That I brought that up a few times, like Old Canyon Noble site, yeah. John doesn't like it.
I don't like it on Park Street, the entrance to Livingston.
Exactly.
But I think it's important that if we need to establish another recycle, first of all, if there's any way to keep the site ongoing with the city, we want to do that. If we cannot, then we think that we ought to find another site that's hopefully county-owned property that we could put our recycle site, and the closer we are to the current one, the less, that'll be more of a deterrent for city people to be using our recycle place. If we can keep it as close as we can. The existing, our existing site over there would be ideal, but at this point, we may not have the room to do it there. We need Warren or Matt, when he gets under control, maybe he looks around and maybe he can find something. We see what else is available.
Well,
First county owned, and then if we have, secondly would be to lease something from somebody, but
all the people that showed up for this on-site meeting about Bennett Street, we all agreed that the best thing in the world would be to just keep things as is. So if the county has to pay the city a little bit more money, I think it's still well within reason. And also if we don't have to mess with it, then we don't have to re-educate people. We don't have to change anything. There's the other thing that really surprised me and John, I think, was I don't think that we really realized that, there's a big bin there that's collecting glass also. And that's being picked up by Dave Leverett.
hauled over to Bozeman, recycled.
And that's
He's
the only,
crushing it.
yeah, that's the only recycle site in Park County that's collecting glass, as far as I know. Some of the answers that I had received about that site was, well, people can go to Wellsall or they can go to Clyde Park or something like that. That I think is not a good option for our taxpayers in this area. I think that we have to be totally aware of the fact that people are being charged on their tax bill for recycling. And we should be offering them a site within reason for them to recycle at, no matter how we feel about recycling, whatever the problem is. The other underlying thing is everything that's going in and out of that Bennett Street site is not going over to M Street, won't be going over to M Street. So Warren doesn't have to deal with it. And the other thing is that we are actually getting a little bit of money back from Dave Leverett for the commodities that he's collecting there at that recycle site. So we're actually getting paid for garbage. We're not using our equipment to collect that stuff that's coming out of Dave's thing. And so what I think we need to do is find out from Matt how much it's going up and exactly what it's costing the county for us to be using that site. I would really like to avoid a rift between us and the city, especially right now. As things are piled up. I don't really want to say anything in regards to what Clint has told me, in regards to the city county politics. I'm aware of that. I think that things are doable between the county and the city to where we can agree on the county still continuing to use that site, our county taxpayers.
The recycle site.
Right.
We're still gonna self-haul to Logan.
Yeah.
This is just,
This is just a
yeah, this is the recycle. If there's any way that we can continue to use that site at whatever rates with them, then that would be advantageous to us. And if not, if we can't work something out, then we will have to find another site.
Now, one thing of concern I saw when we were at that meeting was there was a fence company there and they were putting in a new gate, and exactly where it goes, I don't know. Have you seen
Yeah,
the
right
finished
there.
product?
Yeah, we're gonna put it right there,
Right
right where they
there.
were working,
Okay.
in front of the recycle. Right now they got that lock gate. So they'll have that gate like ours or whatever. I think they have also that sliding gate set up on that other.
But I think the last thing we
Access.
want is for us to start moving farther down the road with illegal dumping into our green box sites. and trying to clamp down on that and then have the city come to us and say, yeah, but your county people are using our recycle site. And then we end up with a rep going back and forth. I think we need to avoid that at all costs if possible. I think we need to work things out with everybody personally.
Because we're just gonna have to let stuff shake out. Of course, Matt's got a whole lot of other stuff on his plate, but this will be
Right.
coming up July 1st, which is 2 weeks away here.
Yeah.
And then we'll just see where it goes. In the meantime, if for some reason we can't use that site, we don't have another place, people can go to an outside spot to recycle, or it'll go into the waste stream until we get something figured out. But we do need to get something figured out sooner than later, because the taxpayers are paying for recycling.
And if we can just leave it as is, and we don't have to educate people, and everybody won't even know that this was an issue unless they read our minutes. Okay, anything else on new business? No. And we've had our we're not gonna get a department report. No, no public comment, and our next meeting is July 21st.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
All those in favor? Aye. No votes. Thank you.